Okay. It says I'm live. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it hijacks the stream again like it did last time.
Like it did last time.
It was so weird. Okay. Okay, but I don't see that it saved my thumbnail
Ugh.
that I inputted from here.
You should be able to go back and change it though.
You would think. Nope, doesn't let me upload the thumbnail. I uploaded it and it's not there. Hi guys, I'm live. If you're here, anyone's here.
Yes, we are live. Yeah. Still on the streaming. Starting stream soon. One more text.
See, on here it shows the thumbnail. Or maybe it's just not showing up on my screen. Maybe the thumbnail is there. Do you guys see a Moon Knight thumbnail, or is it just my logo and like that it? New pin chat. You can now pin messages at the top. Dude, I've known that forever. Why are you just now notifying me of this?
No, you're new to
Apparently, I'm new.
Bias.
I forgot I'm new to this stuff. What's up, Andre and Judah? Welcome, welcome. What's up, Captain and non Spider-Man 2099 owner? Yeah, Judah. Not me anymore. You know who he's talking about though? I'm not aware of
It's like everybody.
Man. It's gonna be one of those days again. We're starting off like that.
Oops. Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Moon Knight thumbnails on both, Tobias says.
Moon Knight thumbnails on both. Okay, so my thumbnail is showing up.
Thumbnail showing is what they're saying.
Because on my side, it just shows like what my channel art is, like the picture with Loki and my logo.
Yeah,
like
your thumbnail's there.
It says the Moon Knight thing and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. That's freaking weird, man. All right. Well, as long as it shows for you guys, it doesn't matter what I see.
It doesn't matter what you see. It just matters what we see. And for those who don't already have Cap Debate subbed, there's his link there. I'm putting that to the top of my chat.
Same with Ghostdog. It's right down in the description, guys. Moon Knight is kind of boring, says Andre.
Just because you don't understand.
Yeah, it's
out there. Good.
Yeah, it's
and
good.
This past week episode was, if you were really confused before,
this one confused you even more. Yeah. More this is kind of doing like a reverse WandaVision. Like it started out kind of normal and then keeps getting weirder and weirder and more confusing as it goes.
Yep.
Or WandaVision started off like, wait, what is happening? And then it gradually got more interesting.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Moon Knight live.
Called The Tomb, episode 4.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to look at the title.
Nope, you're good. I got it today.
There we go. As long as one of us, between the two of us, we got this.
I watched it again this morning for some things I was looking for that I thought I might have missed. Does anybody else watch it with the closed caption on?
Only if I need like pronunciation or I want you to know how to spell something or understand exactly what they're saying, but I usually leave it off.
Yeah, I mean, generally I'm more of a let's leave it off type of thing. And today I was watching it and I was like, oh, he said something there that we didn't hear.
Huh.
That you can't hear on, if you don't have it turned up loud.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was it?
It's when they were in the tomb. Steven said it when they were entering the tomb. He says, oh, just walk. Something about when they were walking into the tomb. He said, "Don't go this way, or we can just die."
Yeah, I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was so faint, you didn't hear him say it. It was like under the music, almost.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
I see. I am confused, but the good one, like I can't look away, and kind of sad that there's only 2 episodes left. Yeah, and I'm very interested what these next 2 episodes are going to look like. But let's break down episode 4. So
Yeah.
Episode 4, and
The Tomb, you said it was,
yeah,
right?
what it was called, and made sense because majority of the episode was in a tomb.
Yeah. Felt very much
So
like an Indiana Jones feel as they were getting into the tomb and everything. There were a lot of callbacks to Indiana Jones in this
a
episode.
lot of callbacks to Indiana Jones.
Um, and a little Tomb Raider as well.
Yeah. So it opens up with I forgot the guy's name already,
The other
but
god,
the
yeah.
other god walking Khonshu's uh,
Little,
carcass
little
thing into,
statue.
or his little statue into this tomb of, if you were paying attention, were other gods in the tomb.
Yeah, there wasn't just one. There's a lot. And I think
There were
someone said they counted up
several
to 10. I think it was a total of 10.
yeah, so it was several other gods in this tomb that they were there. So Khonshu was one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and it just looks like this is where they put you when when you f up.
You go against the god's will,
Except
and
for
that's
Ahmet, except
yeah,
for
it's
Ahmet,
for Ahmet.
yeah, except for Ahmet. Everybody else went here.
Yeah,
Like you mess up, you go sit in the timeout corner over there.
yeah, and this
So
instantly kind of makes you think back to last episode 3 at the end where Khonshu talked about like I remember that night, and he sounded like sad about it. Makes you wonder if
mhm,
that some of the gods were imprisoned from that
from that night,
that war
yeah,
or whatever was going on then that night, and that's where they're now placed here. And so I don't know, that's kind of interesting to think about. Might be something that's explained a little bit more. I don't know.
yeah, for sure. Um, came across my Discord. Somebody tagged me or something. Hold on one second.
So yeah, after that scene, it pops back over to Layla and Mark. She's trying, or Steven at the time. It was Steven. But Steven's, or is Steven, do we even see Steven at the start? I think we just see his body laying there still. I think he's just laying there. And
Yeah,
she's,
Steven's just laying there.
Harrow's men
Layla
start to approach.
sees the jeep pull, they're coming, and she's trying to wake him up. She calls him Mark initially,
Yeah.
trying to still decipher when Mark's there and when Steven's there
Yeah.
for Layla. So there's that. So she drags him and pretty much lunges him down one of the sand hills to try to save him from the guys coming, because at that point they start shooting.
Yeah.
Shooting at. And then if you want to take it from there, Captain, I realize that I have you blocked off of my screen.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Oh, good. Yeah. So yes, Harrow's men are chasing her. They're coming down on her, and then she's like, she gets into the vehicle. She's able to hide from them for a second, and then she pulls out a flare to distract them when they start to approach Steven. And she's trying to save Steven. Pulls out the flare to distract, and as they start shooting at her, then she throws the flare onto the truck, and it starts blowing up all the bullets or whatever. I'm not really sure exactly how that happens. I don't know if that's scientifically accurate way of that would have gone down. I don't know.
She definitely was. She took a flare,
Yeah,
and basically lit the bullets on fire.
yeah. Which
Somehow avoiding getting hit herself.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Mm-hmm. So then, yeah, after that, they're able to get in the car and escape, basically. And then after that, actually, then Steven wakes up and he's like, oh, he's all fine, which I thought was kind of weird. So we don't actually get an explanation as to how he's alive still, because we were implied earlier on that they're only alive because of Khonshu, and that without him, that we didn't really know, and it appeared
maybe because of having Khonshu already healed whatever was keeping
I guess
from being alive.
And I guess maybe just once Khonshu left them, that he was just left like knocked out for a period of time, just to kind of,
like it just drained him.
Yeah, something. So I don't know, I guess. So then, go ahead.
They get to they get to the dig site, right?
Yeah, well, in the car they kind of have a little bit of discussion of She's like going
Well,
back and
Mark and Steven are having some
yeah,
back and
they're having the
forth.
back and forth in the side mirror, and Steven's like trying to block him out, and he's telling Layla like, nope, it's just gonna be me and you. Like, we're gonna leave him out of this. He's got no part of this. Like,
Yep.
screw
Me,
that guy.
you,
We
and the
don't
open
like.
road.
Yeah,
And then from that moment, she stops. It's
yep.
like,
And
you know,
we're
it's the
walking the
open
rest of the way,
road.
and he's like, oh, okay,
Oh, well, I guess it's me, you, and
yeah.
not the open road.
Then they get. I think kind of Mark also at that point too. He kind of says something to Steven like, "Do you love her? Like, are you serious? Like, you're falling in love with her?" Or
He's
something.
like, you're falling in love with my
Like,
wife?
yeah, yeah. It's just something like, come on, dude, really?
Like, but
um,
I mean, I get it. You know,
oh yeah,
it's like you like two twins having a conversation with each other. Like,
yeah. Well, and I've also heard too that like, so that this Steven character was created by Mark after he decided to leave Layla, and that in his he subconsciously sent the part of him that loved Layla into this Steven persona. So that's why the Steven side of things is like really, really showing. Seems like he really likes her and all that kind
mhm.
of stuff, and she is seeing the way he acts around her, and it's attracting her to the Steven side because it's the side of him that likes her still. Because
Yeah,
the Mark is trying to push her away and
trying to
everything.
push her
So
away, and Steven's trying to keep her
so it makes
around.
sense that she would naturally then be attracted to the Steven as well.
The funniest part of that conversation between Mark and Steven was, if you do anything, if you kiss her or something, I'll throw us off a cliff.
Yeah, yeah. And so then, sure enough, they get to the dig site. They start like getting ready to dive down into
To it,
it,
yeah.
and then Layla comes in close, and
And for this
obviously
awkward, yeah, Steven's kind of like,
Steven's just like,
maybe I
"Oh,
should.
dude, do I let it happen? Do I go for it?" And then he just like basically like blocks himself from
getting kissed.
getting kissed, and he just says Mark was hiding from you that Khonshu wants your body to be his avatar. Just kind of
Yep,
like blurts that out just like out of the blue, and she's just
as a
like,
block.
yeah, yeah,
X blocks the square.
yes.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, why would that matter? Like, that's not his decision. Like, it's not up to him. Kind of like whatever. Then they end up kissing anyways.
He's just going into her.
Yeah,
She's like, what I need is honesty, and
yeah,
she's like, I guess that's more of a you thing. And he's
yeah.
like, yeah, and then they have a small talk conversation, and then he leans in and kisses her,
Hmm.
and then she says, well, I better go down before I get, was it belay? Is what she said.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then so she jumps down, and as he looks down, you can see the quick shift, and Steven punches Mark.
Yeah, like Steven obviously like loses focus for a little bit, allows Mark to gain a little bit of control, then he punches himself,
Face,
which
which is
was pretty good.
hilarious.
That was pretty funny.
So Layla gets down first, gets into the tomb area, and writes these two letters. I'm assuming they're whatever language that she's from, because
Arabic,
they were.
I think,
Is it
or
was it Arabic?
I don't even
Yeah,
know, something like that.
yeah, it's Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
And so,
something
but it
over
looked
there I
like a
don't
backwards
understand.
three. Looked like a backwards three and a one,
Hmm.
but they were initials. They were initials for her father.
Hmm.
In the sand.
Yeah, because this is
Um,
what her and her father had been looking for the whole time, so she finally found
exactly,
it. So it's kind of
exactly.
her honoring her father.
Yep. And then right after that, you hear Steven fall down the hole. She's
Very
like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm aces." Like, yeah, no,
hieroglyphics. It might have been hieroglyphics. Neil says in my chat. Could have been. Yeah.
no, they definitely. She
I
definitely
don't know.
says they were her dad's initials.
Yeah.
She actually, because Steven said, "Did you make that?" And she pointed out that, yeah, those were the initials of my father. He would
Oh,
have loved it.
okay.
And he asked her, "Oh, a big historian?" He's like, "No, he was a what was he? An architect? No, not an architect.
Archaeologist.
Archaeologist. Thank you. Good lord, words
He's
are
an
hard today.
architect.
Words are hard today.
Ted Mosby, architect. Anybody? No.
So yeah.
He's in How
Oh
I
yeah,
Met.
How I Met Your Mother.
There we go.
How I Met Your Mother.
Nice.
Uh,
So
let's
yeah, then
see.
they're in these like tunnels where they're just kind of walking around trying to
Yeah,
figure
it's
out.
just like a
Yeah,
maze
it's like a
almost. They're trying
maze.
to figure it out, and somehow I don't know how they figured this out or how Steven figured it out. He figured out it was in the shape of the eye of Horus?
Eye of Haras, Haras, I
Okay.
think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to say it exactly, but
And I was like,
based off of that, they were ever to discover which way they were supposed to go because there was like 6 different directions, and then they decided we need to go this way. Which I don't know. It wasn't like it didn't fully, in my opinion, get explained in a sense because then
wait,
that
how do they
just
figure
led
this
them.
out? Because like it's
Yeah,
just a bunch of
I
tunnels.
don't
Like
even know.
it doesn't make sense.
But then it leads them to this chamber where they see some bones, a bunch of like paint material. I don't even know stuff. I don't know what. There was just a lot of weird things. Then they hear a
Right.
noise. Someone's coming. They hide, and this creature shows up,
It's like
dragging a body.
they hear the gunshots.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. That's right. They hear the gunshots
Layla
first.
even asked, like,
Yeah.
she's seen bullets laying on the ground. She's like,
What are they shooting
wonder where
at?
they shooting
That's
at.
right. Yeah, they saw bullets earlier. Then they asked like, what are they shooting at?
Yeah.
Then this creature shows up, which I can only assume is some kind of mummy thing,
Yeah.
which we kind
One
of
of those
joked about last week. Like, are we going to see mummies? Well, we actually
yeah.
did,
We actually
in a
seen the
sense.
mummies. Yeah.
Um,
Because they were more like the guards of the
mhm.
tomb.
And
Uh
who knows what this ritual was that they were doing for this, or why he was basically harvesting this dude's organs. But it was very gruesome. uh, and then Layla's trying to like sneak around to try to like hide and hopefully get away.
yep.
Makes
Well,
a note.
she's hiding at the table because she sent Steven up to
Mm-hmm.
look for another exit because Steven happened to notice the fresh blood and the meaty bits,
Yeah.
as he called them, on
Mm-hmm.
the table. And then as they were going to walk out to another area, they noticed the fresh blood that was drugged right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, there's got to be a different way
Mm-hmm.
of it." Inside another way out of here. So they look up. They say there's possibly a way out up that way. She tells Steven to go up to go look where there was additional ritual areas where people were, I don't know what you call it, but they were definitely something was done to them there.
Being harvested, basically. I don't even know.
Yeah, body parts being harvested at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the weird thing, you heard the thing. We don't know what it was,
I think
but you
it's some
hear
kind
it
of
make
clicking noise.
yeah, it was a clicking noise, and someone broke it down because these things have no eyes and no tongues.
Mm-hmm.
The clicking sound was kind of like a sonar for
Like an echo sense
their
to be
vision,
able
like an
to.
echo sense. Yeah,
Yeah. So that could be the case. Um, Either way, these guys were creepy looking. It felt very much like an orc from Lord of the Rings or something. I
yeah,
felt like, uh, and then eventually she makes a noise, alerts this creature that there's someone
yeah.
there,
Starts clicking
and
away,
then yeah,
hops on the table,
hops
and then
up
it
on.
hears Mark
Yep.
up above and does this weird flip up
Yeah.
and like catches underneath and starts right before he gets up. She takes one of the little crater thing, little storage things for the body parts, and throws it up against the wall. Mark tells her to run. She takes off down the one way. The thing chases her, and Mark, or not Mark, but Steven says,
Yeah.
I'll
I'll find
find you."
you. Splits up.
He goes another way.
Yeah.
So at this point, this is where you find out that we now know why Kanshi wants Layla's body because she already did the one stab thing with the necklace, right? She stabbed the guy in the necklace. I mean, she's ruthless. She ends up fighting this thing on a pretty much a cliff.
Yeah.
It's a cliff. Um, it was really dark in there. I remember when she first gets to the end of it, she almost falls off because she
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize it was an empty room. Then she takes like I don't know how much supplies of flares
Flares.
she had.
Yeah.
She got an endless supply of
I
flares.
just always carry around a couple extra flares with me too, so that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
I guess when
Oh
you're
man.
when you're a cave explorer like that, you do. I don't know.
Yeah. You maybe carry a few flares around.
But yeah, while she's scuffling with that other, I don't know if it's the same mummy or a different one, but
I feel like it was the same one.
she's able to rip off the arm, and
Yeah.
then
Once he grabs her, like
doesn't
pulls her
even.
back into this
Yeah.
void.
Oh yeah, that was creepy.
Yeah.
She kept going in and out.
It kept going in and out.
Uh, but then once he rips the arm off, he's like trying to stab her with the bone of his like arm, which
His
was like
arm.
sheesh. And then yet again, she has another flare.
Another flare.
Another flare. And she
Flares
whips that
all over the
out and
place.
like what she stabs it in and sticks it in his face, I think.
Six in his eye, yeah,
Yeah.
and then throws him over the
And
edge.
almost takes herself with him, but she's able to
Yep.
grab hold and shows off some impressive upper body strength and pulls herself up with ease.
Yep.
I could not have
Yep.
done that.
Nope. I'd have been dead.
I would have
I'd have
been
been
I would have
dead.
been a goner. I would have been a goner long before that. I got to that point, I guess. But yeah.
Let's see. Let's read real quick. I got Manuel here bragging about his pulls from this weekend. Not here
Nice.
for that today. Jay Mad Dog says, yeah, digging holes and building houses. Jay Mad Dog. Jason Jabari Gaming, what's up? May also says, I feel inside of the sarcophagus is the owner of the body. That's why he's locked up. And Stephen and Mark are split personalities. Interesting. We can talk about that a little bit later. And it sounds like he was drinking the guy's blood. I think he was doing more
Hmm.
cutting into the body than drinking blood and harvesting like the body
Mm-hmm.
parts
Yeah.
than anything else. And yeah, Jason talks about how her father died, which we'll talk about here a little bit later. What's going on, Affliction? And then Silver was good. All right, so I'm caught up in my chat. If you got to catch up with anybody in your chat, let me know.
Just Neil saying a few things. He was saying the zombie guy trying to stab. The arm bone was freaky.
Armbone was freaky.
Yeah.
Armbone was freaky.
Yeah, that was.
So at the end of the fight, she looks up and guess who's just standing there watching? He just stood there watching. Arthur Harrow.
Yeah, he just shows up like he tends to do in these episodes, out of nowhere, just like, oh yeah, of course you're here as well.
Yeah.
And decides to have a little sit down with her, and literally sits down. Basically explains to her that Mark was there when her father died. Has a big old like monologue speech and everything too. I don't remember everything he said, but ended with him basically breaking news like, look, he's not going to tell you. I'll tell you. Mark was there when your father died.
Yeah, when your father
and
died.
He's not telling you this because he knows more than he wants you to know.
Right. I think he kind of almost made the assumption that Mark killed her dad.
Yeah, he definitely is trying to influence her to think that Mark is the one that did it, which
we all thought.
We all kind of assumed that, but Mark later confirmed. Well, he admits saying that he didn't do it, which I guess until we see actual footage of it, there's no way of knowing, I guess. But he also, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, I guess. But he explains like, I should have died that night too. Like I was shot. Khonshu saved me though, because my coworker dude got out of control.
Right. So Harold tells her that, tells her to wake up as they separate and go in another room. Then we split to a different area of the tomb where we see Stephen in his all nerdy fashion and talk about all my I'm in the tomb of a pharaoh. It's got to be one of the big ones. He's walking around. He's trying to figure out who it is. He starts naming off a few of them as he walks across this shallow pond area over on rocks. But the pond was definitely shallow, correct? Am I wrong for assuming that it was shallow?
It definitely didn't seem like it was.
And the reason why I'm saying that
for what happens later. Yeah.
He gets to the sarcophagus. Before that, he looks down in the water. There's a reflection. Again, a lot of reflections. A lot of areas that you wouldn't think would be super reflective. But in this really dark tomb, there's really reflective water in there. And Mark says, "So you kissed her?" Like he already knew that he kissed her, right?
It's like you got to make this. I got to make this awkward, so you kissed her.
You got to make this awkward. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Drown us? He's like, I might. I should. And so he sees Stephen sees the sarcophagus, reads pulls up on it, and says, I forget what he says. But he says that, oh my God, is it who I think it is? Because he always referred to himself as Egyptian, but he wasn't Egyptian. He was something else. And but it ended up being Alexander the Great's tomb.
Yeah.
Which, he did a lot of conquering. The guy did need some help.
And so then they definitely hint at the fact basically that he very well could have been the last avatar of Amet, was the voice of
They were
Amet.
assuming he was the last
Yeah, they're
Avatar.
basically implying that, which is kind of crazy to think about, that all the conquering Alexander the Great was able to do was because of Amet, possibly. Um,
Yep.
and then
Yep.
he opens up the sarcophagus and has to.
Steven's like, or Mark's like, where's the? I keep forget what they call the little thing. What's the thing basically that the guys get imprisoned in? The little
So
stone thing
I
they
just
get
call it a
imprisoned in.
statue. I can't remember what they
Yeah.
call it. But yeah, they're trying to find Ahmet, one of Ahmet, and Steven's like, well, they would have to hide this in a place that the normal Tomb Raider wouldn't think to look
Look
for,
to look
or
for.
normal
Yeah.
thief wouldn't think to look, or whatever they said. And he's like, well, he was the mouth of Ahmet, then decides to
Yeah. Go inside
defile
the
this
voice of Met
body,
and
this the
defile his
bones,
body. Stick his hand, down his
deep in
throat.
there.
Mark says the language was Macedonian. Yes,
Okay.
that was correct. Definitely correct. What's going on, Fred? But yeah, so he rips basically back the bandages and he sticks his hand down there. And while he's doing that, Layla pops up around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as
Very.
after is it right after he pulls
Yeah,
out
right
the
after he gets in, and he's like, "Oh, I have it."
yeah, and then I think also the men of Harold Tiller had popped up by this time and said there's a different way for them to go to get to where they needed to go.
Yeah, and
So
when she first walks up, she asks him a question though, and
when she first walks,
she's like, "Can he hear me?" And she's
can you
implying
hear me?
Mark, and he's just like, "Who, Alexander? No, I'm
Remember?
pretty
No,
sure. I'm pretty
I'm
sure
pretty
he
sure he
can't."
can't hear
Like, he's
me.
just so clueless, like what is going on. Like he's all excited he found what they came there to find, and she's obviously just like distraught right now and doesn't know what to say, and is like mad, and she
He's
wants
like,
to
did
talk
you
to
kill
Mark.
my father?
Did you kill him? And he instantly just like, "Whoa,
And
Mark, this
Stephen's
one's
like,
on you."
he's like, I'm out.
He's like quickly like,
You're a part.
I have no part of this. This is all you,
You're a
buddy.
part. All you.
Yeah.
Someone said the scene. Fred says the scene between Layla and Mark was ridiculous. It was, but it needed that little bit of drama, and you kind of knew it was going to come at a bad time because
Yeah.
that's just how movies work.
Yeah.
Um, so there you go. So
So
they have their
yeah.
little talking. Mark's like, "Let's go. We gotta
We
go.
gotta get out
Let's
of here.
go."
We can talk about this later, but just gotta get out of here now.
Yeah.
And she's just like, just tell me the truth. And he's like, yes, I was there. No, I didn't kill him. Explains the whole thing we were talking
He
about
basically
earlier.
tells her he's been trying to tell us since the day they met.
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh,
And
so we met because you were
yeah,
there when my father
is
got
that the
killed."
only reason we met,
Yeah, it's the
basically?
only reason we met.
Yeah. Yo, what's up,
So,
Panda Man Pete? How you doing?
hey, what's going on?
Check it out, Panda Man Pete. I've been talking with him about like keyboards and what I should get, and I was letting him know because he's built a lot of PCs and
There's just a lot
keyboards
of
and
PCs.
and keyboards and everything too, I guess. So, um, yeah. So, anyways, of course, they're delaying of getting out of there. Harrow and his
Which they
men
should be
catch
getting
up.
out of there.
Yes,
Like
like what? Obviously,
we
like
got we got
come
our
on,
met.
yeah.
Let's get the heck out of here.
But of course, we can't have things happen easy in TV shows and movies. So,
Yeah.
Harrow shows up and he's just like, "All right, good job. Let me have that. I'll take that off your hands. Like, come on, just."
I actually no, he gives it to Layla, doesn't he?
Does he? I don't know.
Yeah, I believe he gave it to Layla and told her to, get out of there and he'll hold him off.
Okay. Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
he grabs the axe out of the sarcophagus and
Yeah, but I was meaning Harrow is like telling him to give him the statue. Or whatever.
actually no, I don't think he ever said that. I think what he said was um he was telling him about his
Hmm.
first night that he didn't have Khonshu
Oh
either,
yeah,
and
yeah,
how
yeah.
how it was relaxing to not have that voice rammering inside of his head. And he basically tells him, you have now you are left with a choice, essentially like join me or give it to me. He knew he had found it,
Yeah.
so he's like, give it to me or
Hmm.
choose to die, one of the two.
Yeah.
And Mark tends to act like he's giving up, and he's like, all right, kind of. puts that, kind of puts down his guard like he's giving up, and the
Hmm.
guy comes up with a gun. He grabs the guy's gun and chops off his arm. We didn't
Hmm.
get to see the blood because this is still Disney Plus.
Yeah, of course.
But he chopped off the arm of one. He killed another guy with it, then threw it and stabbed another guy that was standing in front of Harold.
Hmm.
And then Harold moves him and shoots him point blank, or not point blank, but shoots him in the chest.
Yeah, shoots him twice, I believe.
He shoots him once, and then he backs off, and then he says, "I can't help nobody that doesn't want to help themselves," or something like that.
Hmm.
I can't remember, or right before he shot him, or right after he shot him the first time.
Yeah.
I think it was right after he shot him the first time, and then shot him again, and he falls into this water that again, at initial glance, looks pretty shallow. It's like maybe up to the ankle type of
Yeah.
water.
So I think what happened here is
This is
it,
where it gets confusing.
yeah, the whole episode from here takes a drastic shift of, and I've been wondering how this was going to happen because the whole way the show was going, obviously we had seen in if you ever watched the trailers, we had seen a part where he's in like a mental facility
Mm-hmm.
institute or whatever, and you're just like, how is that going to tie into what's going on in the series so far? So once he got shot here, I think what's happening is we're seeing him in his mind like going through like slowly dying or kind of a purgatory type
Or the
state.
purgatory, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking is more of a
So
purgatory
that's
type
right. I
state.
think I think that symbolism of he landed in the water, which is just a couple inches deep, but in his mind he's just infinitely falling as he's processing going through all of
Right,
this.
we're seeing what's going on in his
Yeah.
mind, and then the I guess someone had made mention that this may be like, what was it, the
Excuse me.
over something,
The overvoid,
overvoid. Thank you, where
I
the
think.
gods are at,
Yeah, which is
and
where
this is
the
the
gods
part
have been
where,
hiding. It's the part where the gods that have been banished are
yeah,
sent to. So if
are
that's
sent
the
to.
and that's hinted to based off of the character we see at the end, um, which in turn could result in us seeing Khonshu here
But
as well,
when
if
he
that's the case.
when Mark comes to, or before he technically comes to, we flip to this middle hospital. In this middle hospital, we pretty much see everybody that's been a part of the show
Well,
so
first
far.
off, it opened up with the movie that was playing. There was
Yes,
this Tomb
yes.
Buster movie, which very
Tomb
much
Buster. I can't
was
remember the name of the movie.
Indiana
Like
Jones
Indiana Jones meets Raiders
and
meets
Tomb
Tomb
Raider.
Raider.
Yeah, if they had a baby, it would be called Tomb Buster.
If they had a baby that's IQ wasn't very high.
Yeah. Um and they find out the guy's name, the main character's name in the show was Stephen Grant. So you're just like, oh, okay. So now we're thinking, oh, is this whole scene is to make us think that this whole show up until this point has been going on in Stephen's brain while he's in this
Right.
mental facility, and that he's created
Right.
this Stephen Grant character in his mind.
The Stephen Grant character is definitely way better than the Stephen Grant
Yeah.
as far as ability wise.
Yeah.
He's as
Uh,
smart as Steven was, but he had more ability.
Yeah. So then, as it zooms out from the movie that's playing in this mental facility, we see, as you were about to say, a bunch of character callbacks from throughout the season so far.
That's true.
We get
We
the
got
gold
Crawley,
Crawley, the gold statue dude, calling out
who's
bingo
caught
numbers.
bingo numbers
Yep,
that aren't bingo
that
numbers.
aren't actual bingo numbers because he throws out a T something,
Yeah, a
and
T something
yeah, and they
and a
pointed
B.
out that like all the numbers like bingo, they're categorized based on like all the ones that are B are like 1 through 15.
Right.
I is certain numbers, so all the numbers
Certain
were
number,
off.
certain
So it's
number.
just
Yeah,
showing that
it was just all over the place.
he belongs in a mental facility himself because of
Yeah.
that. You see a person playing with Rubik's Cube, which was a callback to the first episode. The fake FBI agents are there as well. They're the
As
workers
disorderlies.
there. We've got
Donna.
Donna, who was Steven's boss. She is in there. There's a cupcake cart, which
That refers back to the cupcake
yep,
truck he
the
stole.
truck that he stole in episode 1. The passport lady that gave Layla her passport is the one that sketched the hummingbird on and had Khonshu's face on it. And then we get Layla showing up and the goldfish.
We get Steven sitting in front of
Yes,
uh,
a
like a
board.
window,
Yeah, a window.
a window, um, and he kind of like looks dazed and
Mm-hmm.
confused, and he thinks he sees Stevens. He gets up, he's like Steven, and he gets up and he's ankle tied to the chair
Yep. Just like he
that he was
another callback to the first episode where he was
yep,
tied
first
to the bed.
episode.
So
And
just
then
more hinting at that, like in his mind,
yep,
he created the scenarios that happened before. He always was chained to his bed, but in
on
reality, he was chained to this wheelchair.
mhm.
Um,
Layla's rubber band, her band-aid had a drawing on it of a red scarab
yep.
for the little scarab callback.
Hmm.
And then Donna was holding, I believe, a stuffed scarab, or one of those
Okay.
stuffed
Yeah.
toys
Yeah. I
that he
think.
was
Yeah.
from the gift shop.
Yeah.
Um, and someone had made mention on New Rockstars that the callback to the first episode when the girl said something about him being dead, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'd have to be dead to do that, da 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 da."
Oh yeah, the
And
little girl.
yeah,
The
it
fields of
kind of
something.
made you almost feel like has this been going on in his mind the entire time,
Yeah.
which is why it leaves everybody to be really confused about what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, so then essentially he ends up in this office, Steven does, or Mark does, in the office, talking to somebody with a very familiar voice.
Hmm.
Um,
Which ends
yeah,
up being Arthur Harrow, which I don't know if they actually give him a name in this
I
scene. Did he have a different
I don't
name, or
I don't think they gave him a
I
name.
don't think he gave him a name. They just brought him to
No.
this guy's office, who
Yep.
they imply is the head of the facility.
Yep.
And as Steven's kind of coming to after everything, he's kind of looking around and seeing all sorts of things around this office that are heavily representing stuff that happened throughout the season. Um, he sees the walking stick, which is the staff that Arthur Harrow has. He sees the shoes, which is the shoes
Sandals.
with the sandal, the glass in the shoes.
He's
Sees
looking
all
at all the
sorts of different
little the
statues. And,
Egyptian
yeah.
statues that look like the stuff where they
Yep.
stored the body body
Parts.
body parts in.
Yep.
Um, there was a lot of different callbacks, a lot of different things that happened. He actually made mention to the movie. He's like, well, he's like, finally took this movie. And this,
Yeah.
I was glad to see that my VHS player still worked. And
Hmm.
he's referencing the movie as, is this why you think you are who you are because you've watched this movie so many times?
Yeah.
He, it marks like everything seems to remind me, and he says that very slowly, very drugged, and he reminds me that he's sedated
Hmm.
because of all the actions that happened in the past. Um, but everything, like you said, everything he's seen triggered him, and I think he tries to get up, he falls.
Yeah.
Once he's strong enough to kind of pull himself up, but he realizes that he doesn't have enough strength really to move. The sedation finally, I think, is starting to wear off, and he gets about the wheelchair and asks to be let out the room. You know, I think Arthur Harrow refers back to um, what he said earlier. I can't help you if you don't help yourself.
Yeah. He mirrors kind of what he said earlier, just says it in a different way.
Yeah, different
Um,
way.
just more kind of hinting the fact that maybe that was the last words that he heard right before he presumably died again
Mhm.
and was sent into this purgatory state or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So then he finally, yeah, well, he gets out of Harrow's room again. As he's running out, he's seeing more images or more
More
statues and things
callbacks
that are
because,
more
like,
so supposed to be there to make us, the watchers, think like, oh, maybe this all was in his head this whole time, because
right.
he's seen these things in his mind. He's created them into this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets out in the hallway, and the whole hallway starts to like
Starts to
warp,
do the
and
warp thing that was doing at the storage facility.
the storage. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
similar callback to there. It's like it's the episode definitely heavily implying, like we were saying, that this is all in his mind and he created it based on everything that's happening in this facility. So then as he's running away, he hides in a room and turns around, and there's a sarcophagus in there
Yeah,
and someone
there's
yelling in
sarcophagus
there, and he's like,
laying down sarcophagus.
yeah.
Keep that in mind,
Mm-hmm.
because that I believe there's callbacks that may go into effect over the next few episodes of why that one was laying down versus the other ones that was standing up that we've seen in another room
Yeah.
later on. But he opens up the laying down sarcophagus because he hears somebody say, let me out, get me out of here. And strangely, as I wouldn't have done,
Opens
Open
it.
up the
Yeah.
sarcophagus.
Like, nah, I'm good.
I'm like,
I'm good.
I'm cool.
Even if I'm not hearing noises coming out of it, I'm probably not going to open it. I
Yeah,
think I'm good.
I think I'm all right with that. I've seen one
uh,
too many mummy movies, and
yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Colin has a beard in my chat. Says Mark gets shot and it turns into an episode of Legion. That definitely did feel very much like
It
Legion.
definitely went back to
I
yeah,
watched
Legion a
season
little
one
bit.
of Legion and it was really good but very confusing. I don't think I ever watched. Was there only one other season or is there multiple? I don't even
I
know.
think it was just
I know
two
there's
seasons.
I know there's two for sure. I don't know beyond that, but that's a wild show for sure. But it did give very much Legion feels that whole scene.
Yep.
Um, someone Neil also saying, but I bet no one anywhere could have predicted the whole asylum stuff. That came from way out of left field, at least to me. I mean, like I said earlier, I kind of knew that kind of something was going to be happening. There going to be some kind of facility at some point. I just didn't know how it would happen because we did see it in
Right.
the trailers. But yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't have, I guess, predicted
The way
the
it
way
went.
that it went down and everything
Right.
that they're implying that this has all been going on in his head kind of thing. So that was a cool twist.
Yeah. So after they open up the sarcophagus,
Mm-hmm.
Steven pops out.
Steven.
He's like, Steven?
Yep.
Mark. And they give each other this hug. FYI, if you didn't know, the guy who played Mark when Steven hugged Mark was actually uh, Oscar's brother.
Oscar Isaac's real brother in real life.
Yes,
Yeah.
real brother in real life.
So it was
So they use that little quick cinematography to give time for the camera to pan, and then they replaced both. You know, when they separated from hugging, they replaced both people with Oscar.
yeah.
You weren't seeing twins. It wasn't his brother's not a twin. His brother's back was to us. So what you seen was the back of his brother, which didn't look any different to us, which is what they want you to believe anyway.
Yeah. So after they kind of just talk about like what's going on, what is this? They're like, I don't know. Let's get out of here though. So then they go out into the hallway and they're kind of just like creeping through the hallway, trying to look around. They walk by another room and then we see now a standing up sarcophagus. And again, you hear some like banging in there. I don't. Was there any like yelling or anything, or was it
There
just
was
like
definitely
was
yelling.
there
It was
yelling?
muffled yelling.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been Khonshu, but then after thinking about it for a while, and people are saying it in my chat as well, like Jay Mad Dog and other people that I've seen in other live streams say, I think that's the third personality that we haven't met yet.
My initial reaction instantly, I thought it's got to be this third personality that they hinted at in the last episode that they say like I didn't kill these people. What's wrong with you? Why'd you do this? No, it wasn't me. So all the hints last episode that there's a third person, a couple of other things throughout the season implying there might be a third person. I think this was another hint toward a third personality that might finally reveal itself next week. I don't know, or maybe not until the finale. But I feel like next week's episode has got to be them getting out of here, and I feel like if they are going to introduce the third personality, it would have to come in the next episode. That's not something you would just leave in the finale and do that. I don't know.
Right.
Unless, like I think I said it in a previous breakdown, one of these, that if they do it in the finale, be leading into a next season. But they haven't confirmed a second season of the show, and it's been referred to as a limited series, which generally means it's one season. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I'm trying to figure out the god's name.
Oh, Towerette.
Towerette, that's it. Yes, Towerette.
So yeah, after they walk by that sarcophagus, for whatever reason, decide not to open that one. They figured opening up the first one made sense. Opening up the second one, no, that's where I draw the line. I didn't understand. I didn't really understand that.
Not taking my chances.
Like no. I opened up the first time I found Mark. I don't know what I'm going to find out of the next one, so I'm not going to open that one.
Nope, not opening that one. Let's keep running.
So they keep walking out, and then they hear some noises coming from the door in front of them. Door busts open, and we see a massive hippo from Madagascar. And someone in my chat.
I'm laughing even more because I just read it says somewhere where I was looking for David said it's not the hippo from Madagascar.
Someone said in the chat earlier, said why they had to put Gloria from Madagascar in episode 4.
Gloria from Madagascar, Lord Jesus.
That was pretty good.
But Tara,
So yeah,
yes,
and this
talking about
hippo just
it
goes,
is
says hi, ears wiggling and everything like hippos' ears do.
yeah,
And then they both scream as one would if a giant hippo showed up walking on 2 feet
exactly.
and says hi to you. I would probably
I
be
would be
terrified as well. I
yes,
would
I'd be
scream
freaking
like
out.
a little girl.
Freaking out.
So yeah, but that's the end of the episode. That's where we end off. So,
Huh.
but
We did it again, Captain. I just now realized that we
what
both used the exact same
reaction the thumbnail
reaction
to
for
the
the
thumbnail?
thumbnail. Yes,
Nice,
yes.
well done.
I just
Great minds
yeah.
think
Well,
alike.
there you go. That's 2 weeks in a row. Can
Yeah.
we have a? Can we get it again? All right. So that is the episode. Does anybody have any questions or any thoughts they wanted to add to it?
So
This is our
yeah,
time,
yeah.
Captain. What do you think? Uh, episode 5 will take us to. Will we be out of the asylum by the end of episode 5?
I think by the end of the episode, yes, it'll be them figuring out how to get out of here and back to the real world of what's actually happening. Because I do believe that this is all happening in their mind, in sort of a purgatory type state, that they're not actually dead, or this whole episodes 1 through 3 weren't, and I guess half of episode 4 weren't created in their mind. So I think
Right.
they're gonna get back to the real world, with the help of this hippo. I guess I don't know who the hippo is named. Like I said, is Tauret. It's the Egyptian deity of childbirth and fertility, which I got to be honest, I don't know how that's gonna help. Childbirth and
Yeah,
fertility
the child person
doesn't
fertility god is going to help them out. Like
yeah, it
they're
doesn't.
fighting.
Not sure what that has to do with the moon, but
Yeah, it's got
just
everything to do with it, right?
apparently, yeah. So, but
I honestly
there
thought
is
that they would.
some people are wondering if the whole we were talking about earlier, that this is the place where the banished gods have been sent, and that's why she's there, because she's one of the gods who has been banished as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
and
that's what I
is
was
maybe
thinking.
one of those statues from the beginning opening scene that we saw earlier. So that could be her.
I couldn't pause it and get a long enough look because they're tiny.
Yeah,
Like,
they're really small to be able to
they're
see
really small and they
which
kind of
ones are which.
widen out. Like you
But
know,
there was a
was
scene in the end credits. I believe there was a picture where they show Khonshu's statue up close, and there's a
yep
bunch of other ones around it, and there's one in
around
the
it.
background that looks to be a hippo as well. So
Yeah.
that kind of implies that maybe she was too.
Yeah.
Um,
Mayo says, so if I heard you saying opening up from a sarcophagus, you're telling me to leave you. Got it. Yes. If I'm in the sarcophagus and I'm begging, yelling, and screaming, you should probably get out of there, unless you know it's me for sure.
yeah.
Just saying. Like, I'm not opening up any sarcophaguses for anybody. Captain Bay, I love you. You would have to stay.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Colin has a beer saying, I love the episode. I think that Mark didn't kill Layla's dad, but maybe the third personality did. Yep, I've heard that theory is a
I don't think I
possibility.
don't think any of the
But
personalities
I
did it.
don't
He
I
said it.
yeah.
He actually said it. He said he was there with a partner, another mercenary.
Yeah.
He didn't pull the trigger, but the guy that almost killed him was
It's
the one
like
that shot. He got greedy.
I tried to stop him because he was getting
He
too
tried to
greedy.
stop him. He stopped him getting too
And
greedy, and he
yeah, I
killed all. He executed all the dig site workers.
because if that's the case, I don't think he would have tried to shoot himself essentially.
Right.
But it could be. Who knows? We'll have to find out. If they spend the whole episode in the mental institution, they won't have much time to finish off the series. Possibly, I think too. We'll also get some of Harrow. Well, I don't know. Like maybe I think the first half of the episode could be them in the asylum getting out,
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
it'll
obviously, it's gonna
flash
be
back to
some part of the episode with them in the asylum.
yeah.
What if I left you in there, Ghost Dog? I mean, if you don't know it's me, Jason and Jabari, then yeah, you probably should, leave me.
I thought
I'm
she.
just saying, it's the code, right? You You run away from danger.
Yeah.
We don't run to it.
Colin saying, I thought she was the goddess of rebirth and fertility. Oh, is it rebirth? Did I hear it
I thought
wrong?
it was birth, rebirth.
I
Yeah, I think
heard
maybe
I
I
heard
heard rebirth.
childbirth is what it was described to as. Let's see, what
Uh,
was the name? Toweret.
Taweret, spelled Taweret. Uh,
Goddess ancient benevolent protector of fertility and childbirth, associated with the nursing of infants.
yep.
That's what I'm seeing. So
Okay.
that's really bright.
Yep. God of fertility and rejuvenation is what I'm reading here. Taweret is the Egyptian god of fertility and rejuvenation. Whose history goes back to approximately 300,000 BC. She is closely associated with being a protector of women and families. Her most common portrayal is that of a hippopotamus head with a lion's arm, paw, and a crocodile tail and legs.
A little bit of a 3-in-1, if you will. More nods of a third personality.
No, you do not know it's me, Jason. Then you run. You run, and you don't look back.
The
That's right.
Bushman is the partner. Yeah, in the comics, the character was the Bushman.
Yeah. So,
So
do you think? How many other guys do you think we'll see in the next coming
how
episodes?
many gods?
Yeah, because right now we've seen
We've seen that.
Khonshu, the five other gods, and that's it. And then
Well, then this hippo
this
now.
past episode, the hippo.
Yeah,
So that's six. So how many more do you think we'll see?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning toward this whole that they might be in this area where all of these gods have been banished, and that's where they may end up running into Khonshu. Like this hippo could be like, "Oh, hey, you're here now. Let's go and take you to all the other gods that are here, and they're all trying to work together to get out of here." And so, I mean, if that's the case, it could be the 10 that were all there. It could be a
Yeah,
whole bunch of them,
could be a bunch.
or it
Could be
could
a
just be
bunch.
this hippo and Khonshu.
Do you think Ahmet will be released?
I think they'll get close to releasing Ahmet. I don't think Ahmet will actually get released though.
You think they'll find the Book of the Dead?
The Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead from the Mummy.
Oh, from the Mummy. I don't know if I've ever actually seen the
Where
Mummy.
he took his soul back to the underworld.
I don't think I've ever actually seen the Mummy.
You've never seen the
I
Mummy?
don't think so.
You got an assignment this week. There's 3 Mummy movies. You got to watch all of them.
Eh,
They're
we'll
pretty
see.
good.
We'll see.
Brendan Fraser's pretty good in them.
All right.
Just saying, you'll enjoy them.
I hope they have like a therapy session where all the gods are just like, all I was doing was helping humans, and I got put here. They have like an AA meeting, like, "Hi, my name
Yeah,
is.
my name is this guy.
I'm here because of this,"
Yes,
and
I,
that's funny.
all I was doing was trying to help humans. I made one mistake and moved the mountain,
Yep.
and now I'm here.
Yep. That would be pretty good.
That would be pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, I think we're coming up on our hour. About 5 minutes early. We started a
Yeah.
couple minutes early.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Um, that is going to be it for this week.
2 episodes left.
We got 2 episodes
Yeah, we're
left.
officially in the back half of the show.
Yep. If you have not started watching Moon Knight, well, I don't know why you're watching this recap with us, but if you just like being spoiled, there you go.
Yeah,
You
we're here for you.
Spoiled, done. So there's that. I see. Manuel says this won't happen, but it would be cool if the god was released, and as soon as he is released, uh, Gore shows up and kills him, and it would to lead to the Thor movie.
I don't know. I think it's asking a lot if these shows were to tie in and like leave outside of Loki. I feel like is the only one that's really
it's tied in so far.
Is going to lead straight into future things in the MCU because Kang we already knew is going to be an Ant-Man. Um,
He's supposed to be like the next big bad, right? Overall.
I mean, I don't know about over, and maybe, and that's honestly too when he first got into the tomb. I was wondering if they were gonna
I
say
wonder
this
if
is
it
the
was going to
tomb
be
of
Cain, the
Rama
tomb of
Tut.
yeah, Ramatut. That's what I
Yeah,
was looking for.
yeah. That's where my mind initially was going in that scene. I'm like, oh, that'd be such a cool tie-in if they do that. But then also Moon Knight. I guess this might be why he's saying that it could have a tie-in to Thor: Love and Thunder. Is the whole fight with the gods thing and Gore the God Butcher trying to, maybe he's had part of that war that they were talking about and has helped block away a lot of these gods potentially.
Yeah.
um or maybe he's gonna find this room and be like, oh, here's a bunch of gods, I can just kill them all right here and whatnot. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
See how it goes. So let's episode 4 drops Wednesday
Yep,
morning. So if you watch that early, catch it early. If not, catch it sometime Wednesday because you don't want to get spoiled. That's what I
exactly.
do. I watch it as soon as I get home on Wednesday before my
Yep,
stream.
yep.
That way I avoid
I
all
just
spoilers.
avoid the internet for a few hours because I work
Yeah,
early
I'm at work
Wednesday and
anyway, so
yeah.
yeah, pretty hard to spoil me at that point. But Cap, anything else for you today
I think
on
that's
episode 4?
yeah, I think that's everything for episode 4 for me. Very confusing one. Interesting to
Very,
see, like
very.
we said earlier, is kind of out of the blue, like, oh, okay, this is happening. Is this real? Oh, wait, what? Is this show real?
Yeah,
What's going on? So
yeah.
it'll be fun to see where it goes from here.
Yep. Hey, low key, what's going on? Yeah, so we definitely will catch up next week on that one and see how things go. I think until then, I think that's it, right? We're good.
Yep,
All right, guys,
we're good to
we'll
go.
catch you on the next one.
Alrighty, later, everybody.
Captain Ghost, I'm signing out.
See ya.
Later.